Hi there, everybody. I know it's been a really long time since you've seen me. I just wanted to wish you all happy holidays, and I just wanted to do one of my more traditional sort of yearly videos that I've done for the past, I think, 2 or 3 years now, where I just go into talking about what I played for the whole year of 2016. I kind of like to do it. I like to reflect on all the things that I played and all the things that I got done. And it's kind of a nice way for you guys to maybe have a better idea of what I play in my spare time. Because obviously, the bulk of what I play doesn't go up on the channel, so that's what I'm here to do. And hopefully, you guys will enjoy this video and you'll have your own thoughts. Feel free to share about the games that you played during 2016. Now, if you've watched the few that I've done in the past, you'll know that I usually always exclude games that don't have a definitive start and finish. So multiplayer games that you can kind of just pick up and play whenever, like Terraria, Left 4 Dead, those kinds of things. I tend to exclude those games on the list. I only include games that I started in 2016 or whatever year it is I'm doing the video for, and I finish it in the same year. I also don't include games that I've already played. I spent a lot of time this year looking back on it playing games that I already played. For example, I played Resident Evil 5 and Resident Evil 6 again because the HD remasters came out, despite the fact that I played those on the 360 already. So something like that wouldn't be included in this list. And finally, last year in particular, I think I included every single game that I played. No matter what the game, no matter how long it was, the genre, I kind of included everything. And I think I went on for like 35 minutes or something crazy, kind of talking about every little thing. So I've kind of decided against that this year. I think I'm going to do a bit more of a condensed version. I've picked all of my console games that I played. I've got all the boxes here to show you guys, and I've also just picked out a few indie titles. The more better known indie titles, or ones that I was really particularly impressed with that I wanted to let you guys know about. Because I tend to play a lot of games that don't take a lot of time. I play a lot of visual novels, I play a lot of point and clicks. I like to play a lot of the free to play ones that come up. But if I go through all of those, I feel like I'll just go on for way too long. So I'm going to start with what it is I played on console this year, and then I will move on, and I'll just talk about the few indie titles on Steam that I want to talk about. Alright, so I'm going to start with my pile of games that I have here next to me. No particular order, and I'm just going to give a little bit of a brief description about them. Try not to ramble on for too long. So the first game is Resident Evil 0. I have the Origins Collection here, which includes RE0 and RE1. Obviously, I played RE1 last year, but this was a gift. And the Steam version was also actually a gift, so it was really nice. I had a fan pre-order it for me on Steam. I was able to play it when it came out, and if you guys follow me on social media, you probably know I've played it because I was pretty ecstatic about it when it came out. I had a blast. They did a beautiful job remastering it. The Resident Evil 1 remake was really well, and I think at this point I've pretty much played all the remakes that came out, 4, 5, 6, and these two, so you guys know I love Resident Evil, and I'm happy about that, so there's not really much to say about that. It's a good price. If you guys didn't get a chance to play it on the GameCube, then I would strongly recommend it. The other Resident Evil game that I finished for the first time in my life this year was Operation Raccoon City. I don't know why my case is so shitty. I think I got it from a con. I played this in co-op with a friend. I didn't play any of the alternate modes, any of the multiplayer stuff, just because the online is dead, because the game didn't do well. I played it with a buddy. We managed to get through the main campaign on normal difficulty, I think in about 4 hours. So I would say it's pretty fair that the reviews that people gave are pretty accurate. It's not great. I would stick with the main Resident Evil titles if you're a dedicated Resident Evil fan. You might get enjoyment out of this if you prefer the more shooty action more type games. It definitely had a very action based feel. It doesn't have any puzzle solving or any of that type of stuff that you see in the older, more traditional Resident Evil games. Next on the list is Rise of the Tomb Raider. What was interesting about this was I was actually playing Rise of the Tomb Raider while I was recording the other Tomb Raider game for the channel. So that was really interesting to kind of go back and forth between the two. They're very similar in control and in gameplay style, so it wasn't hard for me to go back and forth. Rise of the Tomb Raider is definitely much more expanded than the 2013 version of Tomb Raider was. They really, really put in a lot of effort and a lot of work into making this a really, really good sequel to the 2013 Tomb Raider game. So if you liked that one and you haven't had a chance to play Rise yet, I would totally recommend it. I'm not sure if the price has dropped by now, but yeah, definitely would recommend that one. I'm also happy to say that finally, it took me a very long time, but this year I actually got around to playing all 3 Dead Space games. You can see here I've got the collection on the PS3, 1, 2, and 3. I played them in order. I tend to have a tendency where I play games in a backwards, weird order, but I actually did play these 1, 2, and 3, and I sort of binge played them. I played 1, finished it. I played 2, and then 3 was a little bit slower because I played this one co-op with a friend, and you know, friends aren't always available. So I really enjoyed Dead Space. I think the first one holds up really well for its age. It's still just as scary, I think, as it was when it came out, and I think the hype was definitely lived up to. I really had a really good time playing the first one. I do think the second one was my favorite, though. It turned the horror down a little bit, but there was a little bit more character dimension to Isaac, the main protagonist. There was a lot more area to explore. There was a lot more to do. It was a longer game. I really, really enjoyed it. And the third one, I don't have many nice things to say about it. It's, again, one of these tragic things that happen to series, sort of like Resident Evil, where they throw the old formula to the wayside and they pick up with a new game and they try something new, a more action-based thing, but it really didn't work well for me. It was very tedious to get through. I got through it, but I can't say that I particularly enjoyed it. It didn't have the same charm that the first 2 had, but nonetheless, I'm glad at least that I had the chance to play through the whole series. So that's about all I have to say about that. Another series that I finally got the chance to play through, with the exception of the 4th one, is the Uncharted Collection, which has Uncharted 1, 2, and 3 in them. Funny story was that I actually got the first 3 games individually bundled together when I bought my PS3. I never got around to playing it for the last, 3 or 4 years I've had my PS3. I bought a PS4, the Uncharted Collection came bundled with that, and I thought, okay, it's a sign. I really have to play these freaking Uncharted games one of these days. So I did get around to playing it, and my verdict on Uncharted, I guess, is just that I prefer Tomb Raider's formula. Like, if I had to sort of compare with something else that I think is better, I prefer the more puzzle solving and exploration and platforming parts of Uncharted, but they're a little bit heavy on combat for my liking. And I think that really detracted a lot from the game for me. But they're not very long games, so it was nice to just sit down, play them, and finish them, and then be able to move on to the next one. And again, just like with Dead Space, I kind of just played these bam, 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 one after the other to really just sit down and finish them, and so I didn't, miss anything out on the story or anything like that. I don't know if I'm going to play the 4th one, maybe, but not anytime soon. Next game on the list is one that I've struggled to finish for a really long time and actually managed to finally finish it. And that is the Final Fantasy X and X-2 little bundle that I have here. I own both the games for the PS2, and I think I picked them up, but I just never finished them. But it's always good when HD remasters come out, because they come out on a more current system, and you just have more of a drive to sort of play it with what's available now. So if I think everybody and their mom knows about 10 and 10-2, so there's not much to say about it. Obviously, I loved 10. It was great. It's a grind fest in kind of the worst way possible. It's just fetch quest after fetch quest after fetch quest. But with both the games, I did finish up the main stories, and I did most of the side stuff as well. So I really feel like I got everything out of the game, and I'm really pleased that I actually got around to finally finishing them. Also, for the PS3 this year, I managed to finally pick up Tales of Xillia 2. I finished Xillia quite some time ago. I want to say maybe last year or the year before it. And if you guys have been following me for a long time, you'll probably know that the Tales series is one of my favorites of all times. And I'm really falling behind at this point because the newest Tales game came out not too long ago, and there's going to be another one, I think, coming out in 2017. So I thought to myself, I really need to start catching up, and so I picked up Xillia 2, and I played it. One of the longer games that I played this year. It's a traditional RPG, or JRPG. Took me about 80 to 90 hours, I would say. So when I started this, it was quite a project. I sat down, and I really hunkered down and finished it. I think I do prefer the first Xillia better, but if you played the first Xillia and you liked it, it has similar characters, similar play style, similar art style, and that might be something that you would be into. And finally, I saved the best for last, because I would probably have to say that this was my game of the year, so to speak. I think the game that I had the most fun playing, and that would have to be The Witcher 3. I put in a lot of time on this game. Many hours of binge playing were spent. I forgot to eat, I forgot to drink, I said I don't need sleep, I was just so totally engrossed in it. I never got a chance to play the first two, but let me tell you, if you're interested in The Witcher and it's overwhelming, the thought of jumping into something late, not playing the first two, don't worry about it. The game does a really excellent job of explaining kind of what has gone on, about the characters, about the universe. It makes it really easy to jump in and sort of have an understanding for what's already going on. And I think the thing that's so remarkable about The Witcher 3 that I loved so much is that games in this genre typically fall short in the story department, but there's a lot of focus on the side questing part of things. Skyrim's a good example of a game that I just don't care about the main story. It's really boring, but it's a great game because all the side stuff is amazing. Fallout, some of the games have better stories than others, but again, most of what you're doing is side stuff. But The Witcher, I feel, just delivers in the main story, the side story, the characters, the environment. I mean, there's just really nothing about the game that I disliked, to be honest. I even really liked playing Gwent, and I usually hate mini games within games. I hate playing poker and cards and stuff like that. But I actually really enjoyed Gwent as well. So yeah, for me, I would personally say out of everything I played this year, The Witcher 3 would have to be my game of the year. I finished the main story, most of the side quests that were available to me in the main game, but I have yet to play the 2 DLCs that are available, so at some point I really do want to go back and do that to just sort of finish off the whole experience for myself. And then finally, I just have a very short little list of about 5 games I came up with that I either finished on Steam or I finished on a console that I had a digital copy of. The first one being Dead Rising 2 Case West. I finished Case Zero like a super long time ago, and up to this point, I've played every single game in the Dead Rising franchise except for Dead Rising 4, which just came out. So it was kind of weird to me that I never played Case West. I just never got around to it, but I finally got to do that, which was nice because it sort of just completed the whole experience for me. And Case West is, of course, just a direct sequel to Dead Rising 2. It happens immediately after the ending of Dead Rising 2. It features Frank and Chuck together, which was really, really fun to see. It's sort of a short arcade title. It didn't take up too much of my time, and it was just kind of a nice, let's sit down and play this and finish it type of game. So I really enjoyed it. I didn't have a friend to play co-op with, but the experience wasn't robbed or anything like that. I still really enjoyed playing it in single player. I had a chance to play a game called Costume Quest 2. I haven't played Costume Quest 1. It was available with Xbox Games for Gold on the One, so I downloaded it and I thought, this looks really just kind of nice. It looks bright and colorful and fun and just kind of laid back, so I decided to give it a try, and I do have to say that it was all of those things. It was just kind of a nice little break from games that have a more kind of serious tone to it. You basically just dress up in Halloween costumes and you go around. It's an RPG, so it has turn-based type combat, but it's got a cute little fun story. It's got really cool, lots of different areas you can go to. You can dress up in different Halloween costumes that all have different powers, and it would have been nice if I had played it closer to Halloween. I think it would have got me into the spirit. But I do definitely want to play the first game after playing Costume Quest 2, because it was just a nice little fun, feel-good kind of game that I really enjoyed. I had a digital copy of a PS3. I think it's exclusive to the PS3, or at least exclusive to PlayStation. I had a copy of a game called The Unfinished Swan, which is just a little indie title, basically about exploration. You go into a world that is completely blank, and you throw paintballs at everything to advance through the different levels. And I think it's more one of those sort of artistic type of games. There's no combat, there's no side quests, there's none of that stuff. It's just a nice little, almost like you're in a storybook. Like you've started and then you have to kind of build the world around you. Once again, a very short game. I think it only took me 2 or 3 hours to play. It was just something that I had gotten with PS Plus and never got around to playing, and I just figured I need to play this before my PS Plus runs out. So I did that, and again, I really enjoyed it. It was just a nice, simplistic, fun little package to play. Another game that I finally got around to playing this year is a relatively well-known indie title called Dust, an Elysian Tale. By no means is it new. It came out a couple of years ago, but it always looked really fun, and I just didn't get around to playing it, but I did finally decide to give it a try and to play it. It is a kind of an action-adventure type of game. It's got similar style sort of to Zelda, I guess, but it's more side-scrolling. There's not so much the open-world exploration, but you have all the stuff, like you've got really fun combat, you've got side quests, you've got exploration, and the story is basically about an amnesiac who's trying to piece back his memory, which is pretty cliche, but it works really well for the game. It's got a really nice kind of art style, and it's got really good music, and again, it's one of those games that's not too terribly difficult. It does kind of take a more serious tone than some of the other games I've mentioned, and it does have a lot more of a concrete story than something like The Unfinished Swan, for example. So if you like those kinds of games, action-adventure, those kinds of things, then I definitely would give it a try. I really enjoyed it. I played the Steam version, and I do know it's available for the Xbox. I'm not too certain about the PlayStation, but I'll leave all the information in the description below, so you can always Google this stuff later if you're interested, and maybe you want to give that a try. And the last thing I want to talk about that I have on my list is a game called If My Heart Had Wings, which is probably, I would have to say to date, the longest and also the most high quality visual novel that I have ever sort of read in my whole life. And that's why I kind of wanted to bring it up, because it's really, really remarkable. I mean, it took me, I think, like 25 hours just to get through my first playthrough. And this is a game we're talking about with multiple endings and whatnot. So for the small price tag, I think it's like $15 or $16, you're probably looking at 40 to 50 hours of gameplay. Everything is fully voiced. It has amazing artwork. It has beautiful music. And it includes full cinematics and stuff like that, which you don't always see. So it's pretty much visual novels on steroids. And it's just really, really happy-go-lucky. It's a very nice story. It makes you feel very, very good. It's got good characters and things like that. I wrote a very, very, very long review on Steam about it already, and it has an overwhelmingly positive review on Steam. So I think a lot of people feel the same way that I do. So if you're into that kind of game, if you really like to read, if you like happy stories, if you like romance, if you like, those kinds of things, then I would definitely recommend that to you. So that's it. That's all the games that I wanted to talk about. Of course, there was more. I played a lot more this year, but I don't want to keep you guys for too long, so that's about all I'm going to say. I will probably put a full list of everything that I've played, probably in a blog post, which is more or less just for my own personal reference for me to look back on. But if you're really interested, if you're invested in the games that I play, you can look at that. I'm also going to leave a link down below to my Exophase profile. Exophase is a really nice little site that allows you to bundle all of your gaming profiles together in one place, so you're able to see your Steam, your Xbox, and all of your PlayStation games all in one place, whereas most sort of achievement-based websites are focused solely on one type of system. So that's a really good way for me to track, to see everything that I'm playing all of the time on all of my systems, and I really like it. So if you guys are interested in that, I'll leave that below. And I don't know if I will be back or not. I don't know if I have a channel update or anything in store for you. If I don't see you again, I wish you all happy holidays, and I wish you all good luck going into 2017. Thanks again so much for supporting the channel, and I hope that I will see you guys soon. Bye.